The March 13th Committee of the Whole will please come to order. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Morton?
Present.
Mr. Stuchel?
Present.
Ms. Hausfeld? Oh, sorry. Mr. Edwards?
Present.
Ms. Hausfeld? Here. Mr. Schuldmeyer is absent. Mr. Culbertson?
Present.
And Mr. Estep.
Present.
Let the record show 6 members are present, 1 member is absent. Members of council, what is your, I'll entertain a motion to approve the written minutes of the February 20th council meeting.
Mr. President,
Mr. Culbertson.
I make a motion we approve of the minutes of the council meeting.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Culbertson, second by Mr. Estep to approve the written minutes of the February 20th council meeting. Any remarks? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. This time, we will move to reports of administrative officials. Mayor Jonathan Stuchel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a reminder, the CIC is accepting mowing bids for the 2025 mowing season. Bid packets are available on the village website and in person at City Hall. Bids must be submitted by 5 p.m. Monday, March 24th. The successful bid will be awarded at the March 25th CIC meeting that will be held here in council chambers at 6 p.m. Also this evening during the special council meeting, I'm asking for approval of ordinance number 9 to go under contract with Timothy Williams, who will be serving as the interim director of public services and safety for a 6-month period commencing March 26th. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Auditor, Ms. Brickway.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to ask council to consider putting an ordinance on the table for the next council meeting. What this one is, it is an additional appropriations. The first part being $3,264.88 into 7A3 for ambulance supplies. This is money that the fire department received from an EMT grant. The second part is master plan 05MP1B contract staff in the amount of $70,000. This was not budgeted at the full amount at the beginning of the year because Jonathan is looking at different ideas for the building department, but until we actually do them, we need to put the money into there, and at any time, if he changes, we can always decrease the line, but that's what that one is about. Are there any questions? Okay. Secondly, we had our first visit from our state auditor. Leanne and I did fine. We didn't have any issues. This is the first of many visits. He was here this week, so I will keep you up to date when he comes back next. It'll probably be April or May. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Entertain a motion to place additional appropriation.
Mr. President,
Mr. Culbertson.
I make a motion we put the additional ordinance on the table for additional appropriations.
Seconded.
Motion by Mr. Culbertson, second by Mr. Morton to place the additional appropriation ordinance on the table. Are there any remarks? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So ordered. We'll move to any report from the law director. Nobody? Okay. Treasurer, Ms. Darrenkamp.
Thank you, Mr. President. These are our end of the month as of February 2025 year-to-date expenses. They are $3,002,387.09. And the revenues that we received were $1,655, or $1,655,932.79. And that is all I have for today. Thank you.
Thank you. Safety and Service Director, Mr. Wordman.
Thank you. On Tuesday, February 28th, we'll be having the bid opening for the Langley Avenue project that was discussed at the last public improvements meeting. We're on somewhat of a tight timeline to try to get the project underway, as we also have the Greenlee project that's going out for bid later this spring. As a result, I'm going to be asking for legislation to be placed on the table to allow the Director of Public Services and Safety to enter into a contract with whichever contractor ends up getting the bid, because the bid's not going to be until next week. We don't know who that is. Obviously, by the time the council meeting rolls around, we'll have that, so it'll be included in the ordinance at that time, but I wanted to get the ball rolling and get that legislation in place for when that bid comes in. Second, just to provide additional information to Peggy's report, just with my impending departure from the village, I wasn't able to implement some of the cost-saving strategies that I had expected to complete during the course of the year. And that's part of the reason, well, that is the reason that the additional funding is being requested in the appropriations. The good news is that increase should be partially offset by some of the savings on our insurance that we are going to see from moving to the Ohio plan, as we discussed last month. But I did want to try to make sure that we took care of that issue before I left, so we did not leave it with Mr. Williams. And then finally, speaking of Mr. Williams, I believe that he will be in place as the interim director by the time the next council meeting occurs. I just wanted to publicly thank everybody that I've had the pleasure of meeting and working with here in the village of St. Bernard, and I wish you all nothing but the best as you continue to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. And the ordinance that you're requesting is for both projects or just the Langley?
Just the language.
Just the Langley.
Yep.
That's what I thought. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to place the ordinance for the Langley project on the table.
Mr. President,
Mr. Morton,
I'd like to make a motion to put an ordinance for the Langley project on the table.
I'll second that.
a motion by Mr. Morton, seconded by Mr. Culbertson to place an ordinance on the table for the Langley Avenue project. Any remarks? Not all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So ordered. All right, thank you, Tim. Tax Administrator, Ms. Helms.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have the numbers for February of 2025 for the tax office. Tax collections were $653,492. February of 2025 is up 7% or $42,764 from February of 2024. Refunds for February were $3,503. Delinquent tax collected with capital recovery was $834. Delinquent tax collected with the Ohio Attorney General's office was $31,161. And then just a couple quick reminders, April 15th is tax day. All residents 18 and older must file a St. Bernard tax return. You have your federal, you have your state, and then St. Bernard, so there's 3 returns. You are required by law, state and St. Bernard law, to attach all W-2s, your federal 1040 form from page 1 through 3, and any federal schedules. If you have any questions, come see me or call me, 513-242-7710. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. We'll move to reports of standing committees. Finance, Mr. Morton.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Finance Committee met on Tuesday, March 11th to discuss a needed budget amendment regarding our Building and Inspections Department and the proposed levy, both of which the committee voted unanimously to advance and endorse passage, respectively. The minutes for that meeting have been submitted. I would like to thank Safety Service Director Wordman, Auditor Brickweg, Councilman Stuchel, and Mayor Stuchel for their attendance. I want to thank Tim Wordman especially for his valuable contributions to our committee and to our village these past 7 months, too. The next Finance Committee meeting is scheduled for April 16th at 6 p.m. in the lower level of City Hall. Tonight, we'll also be discussing Resolution 2, which allows our village auditor to begin the administrative process of getting a renewal levy back on the ballot. I want to emphasize that this resolution, like the energy aggregation ordinance, is necessary to put this decision in the hands of the voters of our village. In other words, a yes vote tonight is not equivalent to an endorsement of the levy itself. Instead, a yes vote tonight represents our trust in our neighbors to make the best decisions for themselves. I see a no vote to advance this resolution as a sign of distrust in those same voters, which is something I do not feel is rational. Only after passing this resolution will we be able to receive more accurate estimations of both the expected incremental tax revenue received by the village to maintain our second-to-none police, fire, and service departments, and the estimated property tax liability for our property owners around the village. Because of these reasons and many others, the Finance Committee unanimously endorsed the passage of this resolution and the subsequent ordinance to place this levy in front of the voters to decide. The Finance Committee also discussed timing and agreed that placing this levy on the August ballot, similarly to other municipalities in our area, is to the benefit of our residents. One of the many reasons for this is to eliminate the noise of other upcoming elections so voters can make a fully informed decision. In summary, the Finance Committee, myself included, endorses the passage of Resolution 2 and its resulting ordinance to trust our community to make the best decision for themselves in August. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Service, Mr. Gus Stuchel.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Service Department will resume yard waste collection on Mondays and Tuesdays, starting March 31st and running through October 1st. This service will utilize a dedicated garbage truck for yard waste collection. Residents should place all yard waste in a garbage can without any trash. Per Chapter 923, Waste Collection and Recycling, all branches and limbs placed in these cans must be neatly bundled and should not exceed 2 inches in diameter or 5 feet in length. Any branches or limbs that exceed these dimensions should be placed on the curb for regular disposal. And lastly, as another reminder, Clean Up St. Bernard Day will take place on Saturday, April 26th from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m., and Shred Day will be held on Saturday, May 24th down at the Safety Center from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. All residents are encouraged to participate in these events to help keep our community clean and well-maintained. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Public Improvements, Mr. Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. President. There was no need for a Public Improvement Committee meeting, but I'd like to give credit to the Service Department. As I walked over the weekend, I noticed a parking sign, no parking sign on Burtis was knocked down, and another was knocked down and damaged over the weekend. And I'd like to thank the Service Department that's already repaired them and put them both back up. Said this level of service doesn't exist in many places, and we just have an excellent Service Department and other services, which is another reason we need, the levy to be passed, in August. Thank you.
Thank you. Safety, Ms. Hausfeld.
No report, Mr. President.
Thank you. Marketing, Mr. Culbertson.
Thanks, Mr. President. Please mark your calendars for the village's annual Easter egg hunt. The event will be held at Vine Street Park and starts at 1 p.m. The next St. Bernard Ludlow Grove Historical Society meeting will take place on Monday, March 17th at 7 p.m. in the municipal building. This meeting is the meeting is about the St. Bernard annual quiz. The St. Bernard Garden Party has very limited space available for the upcoming grow season. However, they have classes, events, and parties scheduled throughout the year. These meetings are on the second Tuesday of each month at 6 p.m. in Centennial Hall. That concludes my report.
Mr. Culbertson, did you have a date for the? I thought maybe I might have missed. Easter? Easter's the 20th, so I think the 19th. Okay.
Saturday, April 19th.
Okay. We won't dock you too much for that misinformation. Business and Industry, Mr. Esta.
No report.
Thank you. At this time, is there anyone in the audience wishing to address council this evening? If not, I will entertain a motion. What is council's pleasure on the absent member?
Mr. President,
Mr. Morton?
I'd like to move that we excuse the absent member.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Morton, seconded by Mr. Culbertson to excuse the absent member. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. All right, then I am showing 2 ordinances then for next week, or the council meeting in 2 weeks. One for the additional appropriations and one for the Langley Street project that will be finalized before then. So, and the next committee of the whole will be April 10th. All right, at this time I will entertain a motion to adjourn. We will have our special council meeting at 7:30, which was called for. Now, Mr. Culbertson.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Culbertson, seconded by Ms. Hausfeld to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. The special council meeting, Village of St. Bernard, will come to order. This was a special council meeting called for the second reading of resolution number 2, as well as ordinances number 6 and 7, and ordinance number 9 to discuss an ordinance for the interim safety service director. At this time, I'll entertain a motion. I'm almost 99% positive we put a motion or made a motion at the last council meeting to place ordinance 9. We just weren't sure that was going to be the number, but just to be safe, if I could have a motion to place ordinance number 9 on the table this evening.
Mr. President,
Mr. Culbertson.
I make a motion, we place ordinance number 9 on the table.
Seconded.
Motion by Mr. Culbertson, seconded by Mr. Morton to place ordinance number 9 on the table. Are there any remarks? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So ordered. Thank you. At this time, clerk, will you please give the second reading of resolution number 2, 2025?
Resolution number 2, 2025, resolution authorizing a renewal 7 mil tax levy on the current real property tax rate for real property located within the Village of St. Bernard, certifying said resolution to the Hamilton County Auditor and declaring an emergency.
Members of council, you have heard the second reading of resolution number 2, 2025. What is your pleasure?
Mr. President,
Mr. Morton.
I'd like to motion to suspend with the third reading of resolution number 2, 2025.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Morton, seconded by Mr. Stuchel, to suspend with the third reading of resolution number 2, 2025. Are there any remarks? If not, clerk, will you please call the roll on the motion?
Mr. Morton?
Aye.
Mr. Stuchel?
Aye.
Mr. Edwards?
Aye.
Ms. Hausfeld?
Aye.
Mr. Culbertson?
Aye.
Mr. Estep?
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries. Members of council, what is your pleasure on adoption?
Mr. President,
Mr. Morton.
I make a motion to adopt resolution number 2, 2025.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Morton, seconded by Mr. Culbertson, to adopt resolution number 2, 2025. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Morton?
Aye.
Mr. Stuchel?
Aye.
Mr. Edwards?
Aye.
Ms. Hausfeld?
Aye.
Mr. Culbertson?
Aye.
And Mr. Estep?
No.
5 ayes, 1 nay, motion carries. Resolution number 2, 2025 is adopted as read. Clerk, will you please give the second reading of ordinance number 6, 2025?
Ordinance number 6, 2025, an ordinance authorizing all actions necessary to effect a governmental electric aggregation program with opt-out provisions pursuant to section 4928.20 Ohio Revised Code, directing the Hamilton County Board of Elections to submit a ballot question to the electors and declaring an emergency.
Members of council, you've heard the second reading of ordinance number 6, 2025. What is your pleasure?
Mr. President,
Mr. Morton.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend with the third reading of ordinance number 6, 2025.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Morton, seconded by Mr. Estep, to suspend the third reading of ordinance number 6, 2025. Are there any remarks? If not, is there anyone in the audience wishing to address council on ordinance 6, 2025? If not, clerk, will you please call the roll on the motion to suspend?
Mr. Morton?
Aye.
Mr. Stuchel?
Aye.
Mr. Edwards?
Aye.
Ms. Hausfeld?
Aye.
Mr. Culbertson?
Aye.
And Mr. Estep?
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries. Members of council, what is your pleasure on adoption?
Mr. President,
Mr. Morton.
I motion to adopt ordinance number 6, 2025.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Morton, seconded by Mr. Estep, to adopt ordinance number 6, 2025. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Morton?
Aye.
Mr. Stuchel?
Aye.
Mr. Edwards?
Aye.
Ms. Hausfeld?
Aye.
Mr. Culbertson?
Aye.
And Mr. Estep?
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries. Ordinance number 6, 2025 is adopted as read. Clerk, will you please give the second reading of ordinance number 7, 2025?
Ordinance number 7, 2025, an ordinance authorizing all actions necessary to effect a governmental natural gas aggregation program with opt-out provisions pursuant to section 4929.26 Ohio Revised Code, directing the Hamilton County Board of Elections to submit a ballot question to the electors and declaring an emergency.
Members of council, you've heard the second reading of ordinance number 7, 2025. What is your pleasure?
Mr. President,
Mr. Morton.
I motion to suspend the third reading of ordinance number 7, 2025.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Morton, seconded by Mr. Estep, to suspend the third reading of ordinance number 7, 2025. Are there any remarks? Once again, anyone in the audience wish to address council on ordinance 7? If not, clerk, will you please call the roll on suspension?
Mr. Morton?
Aye.
Mr. Stuchel?
Aye.
Mr. Edwards?
Aye.
Ms. Hausfeld?
Aye.
Mr. Culbertson?
Aye.
And Mr. Estep?
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries. Members of council, what is your pleasure on adoption?
Mr. President,
Mr. Morton.
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt ordinance number 7, 2025.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Morton, seconded by Mr. Estep, to adopt ordinance number 7, 2025. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Morton?
Aye.
Mr. Stuchel?
Aye.
Mr. Edwards?
Aye.
Ms. Hausfeld?
Aye.
Mr. Culbertson?
Aye.
And Mr. Estep?
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries. Ordinance number 7, 2025 is adopted as read. Clerk, will you please give the first reading of ordinance number 9, 2025?
Ordinance number 9, 2025, authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Timothy Williams as the Director of Public Services and Safety and declaring an emergency.
Members of council, you've heard the first reading of ordinance number 9, 2025. What is your pleasure?
Mr. President,
Mr. Morton.
I motion to suspend with the second and third reading of ordinance number 9, 2025.
I'll second it.
Motion by Mr. Morton, seconded by Mr. Culbertson, to suspend with the second and third reading of ordinance number 9, 2025. Are there any remarks?
Mr. President.
Mayor?
So just as you're aware, you have a reference and purposes here, the copy of the contract. This is again, for an interim appointment for a 6-month duration with potential renewable terms for a consultation basis. So again, the intent is that during the new Tim's period, basically, he would also be keeping the village going in that capacity, but at the same time providing, an assessment that he will deliver as well, and helping lay the groundwork for the next new hire, which we will start that process roughly 3 months into Mr. Williams' employment. So just to make you aware, and he will be, if successfully passed, will be starting on the 26th and working with Old Tim for 3 days before exit. So anyhow, I just want to give everyone an update on the logistics, so thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address council on ordinance 9, 2025? If not, clerk, will you please call the roll on suspension?
Mr. Morton?
Aye.
Mr. Stuchel?
Aye.
Mr. Edwards?
Aye.
Ms. Hausfeld?
Aye.
Mr. Culbertson?
Aye.
And Mr. Estep?
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries. Members of council, what is your pleasure on adoption?
Mr. President,
Mr. Morton?
I motion we adopt ordinance number 9, 2025.
I'll second that, Mr. President.
Motion by Mr. Morton, seconded by Ms. Hausfeld to adopt ordinance number 9, 2025. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Morton?
Aye.
Mr. Stuchel?
Aye.
Mr. Edwards?
Aye.
Ms. Hausfeld?
Aye.
Mr. Culbertson?
Aye.
And Mr. Estep?
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays, motion carries. Ordinance number 9, 2025 is adopted as read. At this time, obviously, with the passage of resolution number 2, the 7:45 council meeting that was an as needed is not needed. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. President,
Mr. Culbertson.
make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that, Mr.
Motion
President.
by Mr. Culbertson, seconded by Ms. Hausfeld to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.